Dear children, good afternoon every one of you. My dear children, today our session is how to create a table and then insert a table that about we will see. The topic is SQL. Already we know about the SQL, structured query language. In this structured query language, how to create and then insert and then delete, okay, and then update. These four about will make a table. This is the today discussion. I will tell you the PowerPoint via step by step. I will explain to you. Any doubts in future after the listening, please contact my number. Okay, we will see in computer science +2 topic. This is SQL. Already you know about this concept about SQL. SQL is nothing but structured query language, right? Now in this SQL about one by one we will see today. First, introduction to SQL. The structured query language is a standard programming language to access and manipulate databases. SQL allows the user to create, retrieve and alter and transfer information among databases. It is a language designed for managing and accessing data in a relational database management system. This is intro about the SQL. In this SQL, there are many versions of SQL. The original version was developed at IBM Research Center. You know, this stands for IBM, International Business Machine. IBM Research Center, and originally called as SQL is in early 1970s. Later, the language was changed to SQL. In 1986, ANSI is nothing but American National Standard Institute published an SQL standard that was updated again in 1992. The latest SQL was released in 2008 and named as SQL 2008. Right, now next topic is the role of SQL in RDBMS. RDBMS is nothing but Relational Database Management System. RDBM stands for Relational Database Management System. Example: Oracle, MySQL Server, IBM DB2 and Microsoft Access or DBMS packages. SQL is a language used to access data in such databases. You know the expansion of Oracle. So Oracle, automatic computing logical engine, is nothing but Oracle or Oracle, right? In general, database is a collection of tables that stores set of data that can be queried for use in another application. A database management system supports the development, administration and use of database platforms, right? Now, the role of SQL in RDBMS is a type of DBMS with a row-based table structure. RDBMS is a type of DBMS with a row-based table structure that connects related data elements and includes functions related to create, read, update and delete operation, collectively known as CRUD, right? The data in RDBMS is stored in a database object called tables. So what is table? Define table. Sometime asking the question about 1 marks, right? the data in RDBMS is stored in a database object is called as tables, right? A table is a collection of related data entries and it consists of rows and columns. Again I will tell you, a table is a collection of related data entries and it consists of rows and columns. Now in this field is a column in a table that is designed to maintain specific related information about every record in the table, right? It is a vertical entity that contains all information associated with a specific field in a table. The fields in a student table may be of the type administration number, student name, student age, and then student class, and then places, and then etc. Right? Now, in this record, is asking the next question is, what is a record? A record is a row which is a collection of related fields or columns that exist in a table, right? A record is a horizontal entity in a table which represent the details of a particular student in a student table. Now, processing skills of SQL. Various processing skills of SQL are, number one is data definition language is nothing but DDL. The SQL DDL provides commands for defining relation schemas or structure, deleting relations, creating indexes, and modifying relations schemas, right? Second one is the DML is nothing but data manipulation language. The SQL DML includes commands to insert, delete, and modify tuples in the database. Now we will see embedded data manipulation language is nothing but EDML. Embedded data manipulation language. The embedded from SQL is used in high-level programming languages. View definitions. The SQL also includes command for defining view of tables, right? Now, authorization. In this authorization, the SQL includes commands for access rights, the relation and views of tables. And then we will see integrity. The SQL provides forms for integrity checking using condition. Next, transaction control. Transaction control. The SQL includes commands for file transaction and control over transaction processing. Right. Now we will see creating a table. This is very important one. How to create a table? All the children or students are asking the questions. First one is creating a table. To create a database, type the following commands. Create database, database underscore name. It should be terminated by semicolon. Example also you give it, no, you see, for example, to create a database, to store the tables, create CREATE database, STUD small letter, and then terminated by semicolon, right? Second one is to work with the database, they type the following command, use database, semicolon. For example, to use the student database created, USE-STUD is nothing but USE-STUD. It should be terminated by semicolon. Next one is components of SQL. In these components, right? The components of SQL commands are divided into 5 categories. What they are, sir? DML, DDL, DCL, TCL, DQL. One by one expansion I will tell you now. DML is nothing but data manipulation language. DDL is nothing but data definition language. And then DCL is nothing but data control language. And then TCL is nothing but transaction control language. And then DQL is nothing but data query language. Right. Now we will see the next one, components of SQL commands. You see, first SQL commands, sky blue is there, no, and then it based will relating 5 things: DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and then DQL. First, we'll see DDL is nothing but create, alter, truncate, and then drop. Right? Now, here DML is insert, update, delete. DCL is grant and revoke. TCL is save point, roll back, commit, and then DQL is select. Now we will see the next topic, or is a DDL is nothing but data definition language. In this data definition language consists of SQL statements used to define the database structure or schemes, or is nothing but schema. Now it is simply deals with descriptions of the database schema, and it is used to create and modify the structure of database objects in databases. Right? Next, the DDL provides a set of definitions to specify the storage, structure, and access methods used by the database system. Next, here DDL performs for the following functions. What are the functions performing in DDL? We are asking question 2 mark or 3 mark. Okay, now we will see DDL performs the following functions. Number 1, it should identify the type of data division such as data, item, segment, record, and database file. It gives a unique name to each data item, type, record type, file type, and database. It should specify the proper data type. Okay, yes. Next, it should define the size of the data item. It may define the range of values that a data item may use. Right? It may specify privacy locks for preventing unauthorized data entry. Okay, it may specify privacy locks for preventing unauthorized data entry. In the SQL commands which come under the data definition language or command and description. This also asking 1 mark or 2 mark or 3 mark. First command is create. How to create? Description is create a table in the database. Command is create. Alter. What is the use of alter? Description alters the structure of the database. Next one is the drop. The drop command is nothing but deletes table from database. Next, finally, is a truncate. Removes all the records from a table. Also releases the space occupied by those records. Right? And then a data manipulation language is a computer programming language used for adding, inserting, removing is nothing but deleting, and modifying is nothing but updating data in a table. In SQL, the data manipulation language comprises the SQL data change statements which modify stored data but not the schema of the database table. After the database schema has been specified and the database has been created, the data can be manipulated using a set of procedures which are expressed by DML is nothing but data manipulation language. Now, by data manipulation we mean insertion of a new information to the database. Insertion of a new information into the database. Retrieval of information stored in a database. Deletion of information from the database. Modification of data stored in the database. Okay, now DML is basically of 2 types. What the are procedural DML requires a user to specify what data is needed and how to get it. The next one is non-procedural DML requires a user to specify what data is needed without specifying how to get it. Right? Next, SQL commands which come under data manipulation language. In this command, DML command, first command is insert and then update and then delete. insert in this description, inserts the data into a table, right? Update the existing data within a table. Deletes all records from a table but not space occupied by them. Next, data control language. A data control language, DCL, is a programming language used to control the access of data stored in a database. It is used for controlling privileges in the database. Authorization. Here, the privileges are required for performing all the database operations such as creating sequences, views of tables, etc. Okay, and then SQL commands which come under data control language. What they are? The commands are: first command is grant and then revoke. What is the use of grant? Grants permission to one or more users to perform specific task, right? Revoke withdraws the access permission given by the grant statement. Okay, now transactional control language or TCL commands are used to manage transactions in the database. These are used to manage the changes made to the data in table by DML statement, right? Next, SQL commands which come under the transfer control language. The transfer control language are three types. One is commit and then rollback and then save point. First we will see commit command saves any transaction into the database permanently. This is important one mark, right? Saves any transaction into the database permanently. Commit, C-O-M-M-I-T. Rollback is nothing but it stores the database to last commit state. And then save point is nothing but temporarily save a transaction so that you can roll back. Okay, and then we'll see the data query language consists of commands used to query or retrieve data from a database. One such SQL commands in data query language is: first command is select. In this description, it displays the records from the table. Next, we will see data types. Data types, the data in a database is stored based on the kind of value stored in it. This is identified as the data type of the data or by assigning each field a data type. All the values in a given field must be of same type. Next, the ANSI SQL. What stands for ANSI? American National Standard Institute Structured Query Language. Standard recognizes only text and numbers. Data type, while some commercial programs use other data types like date and time, etc. And then we will see ANSI data type is a data type and description. There are three levels. Here, character is a CHAR, and then variable character is a varchar, and then numeric. First we will see CHAR is a description fixed with the string values of this type is enclosed in single quotes, right? For example, Anu's will be written as Anu, it will come inside the single quotes, and then SC single quotes. The varchar, the variable with character string, this is similar to character except the size of the data entry vary considerably. Now numeric, it is same as decimal except that the maximum number of digits may not exceed the precision argument, right? And then we will see the decimal points. It represents fractional number of such as 15.12, 0.123, etc. Here the size argument consists of two parts, precision and scale. The precision indicates how many digits the number may have, and the scale indicates the maximum number of digits to the right of the decimal point. The size 5, 2. indicates precision as 5 and scale as 2. The scale cannot exceed the precision. Now integer is an integer. It represents a new number without a decimal point. Here the size argument is not used. And then data type is a small integer. It is same as integer, but the default size may be smaller than integer. And then float, it represents a floating point number in base value 10, exponentiation notation, and may be defined a precision up to maximum of 64, right? It is same as float except the size argument is not. Now real is used and may be defined a precision up to maximum of 64. So real, it is same as float except the size of argument is not used and may define a precision up to maximum of 64. And the double, the same as real except that the precision may be exceed 64. Okay, yes. And then we will see tables are the only way to store data. Therefore all the information has to be arranged in the form of tables. The SQL provides a predetermined set of commands to work on databases. Here three things are there. So keywords, commands, clauses, arguments. First, they have special meaning in SQL. They are understood as instruction. Commands, they are instruction given by the user to the database, also known as statements. What is classes, sir? They begin with a keyword and consist of keyword and argument. And then argument, they are the values given to make the class complete. Now we will see alt DDL. In this DDL, create, alter, drop, truncate. Already we learned. In this case, you can create a table by using the create table command. When a table is created, its columns are named, data types and sizes are to be specified. Each table must have at least one column. And then now we'll see DDL creative command. Syntax for create table command is important one. Create table, table name, column name, data type, size. Column name, data type, size, and then single bracket closed. Why? Because already single bracket open. It should be terminated by semicolon. This is a common syntax for creating table. And then now let us use the syntax to store some information about the students of class in the database. For this, first you need to create table. To create a student table, let us take some information related to students like admission number, name of students, gender, age, and etc. Let us create a table having the field name, administration number, name, gender, age, and place. Right? Here SQL command will be as follows. You see example, create table, student, admin number, ADMN number, integer, comma, name of character of 20, gender character of 1, age integer, place character of 10, close brace, so body should be closed, semicolon. Now DDL create command, the previous one is a simple table structure without any restrictions. You can also set constraints to limit the type of data that can go into the fields of the table. Constraints are used to limit the type of data that can go into a table. This ensures accuracy and reliability of the data in the table database. Constraints could be either on a column level or table levels. Now we will see DDL creative commands. Constraints is a condition applicable on a field or set of fields. Column constraint apply only one individual column. Table constraint apply to a group of one or more columns. Now here DDL creative table command syntax for created with a constraint with given data. You see the example, create table, table name, column name, and then type column size here, open closes, and then create your command. There's an example. Following the example is a without not null column strike enforces the field of always contain the value. Create table students admin number integer not null. Primary key is a key constraint name character of 20 not null, gender character of 1, age integer, place character 10. Okay, and then previous commands creates the table student in which field admin number of integer type is defined not null. Name of the character type is defined not null, which means these two fields must have values. The fields gender, age and place do not have any constraints. Now types of constraint, this is about next class we will see, but types of constraints only 5 types. You see, one is unique constraint, and then primary constraints, and then default constraint, and then fourth one is check constraint, and then table constraint. This about detailing we will see the next class. Thank you.